Doing it live.
Thanks for joining another episode of Playing the Artist, where it's a show where me and my pal Alex talk about trying to be artists, and I like to think we're fucking doing the damn thing. What do you think, Alex?
Dude, after a year, we're actually kind of really doing it.
Not quite a year. Not quite a year.
Oh, yeah, I guess we started more in the summertime.
Yeah.
So, even better.
No, we started during fall, I'm pretty sure, didn't we?
I don't know.
This is 38. This is number 38, episode 38.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't been doing it that long. What have you been up to? Being in your quarantine and whatnot.
I'm trying to be balanced. You know, I'm getting a lot of work done, which is great. I'm getting to be with my girl Sam quite often. That's also good. Getting exercise, a little bit. Getting outside, where it's safe to do so.
Oh, that's right. You were a pretty active individual, because I remember you doing a lot of stuff at EA, because you used to do jiu-jitsu together, and I remember you would like join like volleyball and other stuff like that. You would do once a week.
Yeah. So all I do now is just go for runs and then the occasional push-ups, and which is still something, but I don't in a way I do, and I don't miss the jiu-jitsu because I don't have anxiety on Tuesdays and Thursdays anymore. I'm like, okay, I got to fight for my life soon against.
Really, you would have anxiety?
I wouldn't be afraid that something bad was going to happen. I'd just be like, I would just in the morning be like, hey, in an hour, I know I have to go. And,
oh, okay, yeah.
It's like I don't know, anticipation of, there's also a lot of ego too, right?
My jiu-jitsu melted my ego. It's still there, but it's pretty weak for me.
I think your ego comes back. Like I felt the same. Like when you're white belt, right? Like nobody, there's no expectations of you. So if you do good, that's great. If you get tapped out and you have a rough class, it's like, well, you're new to this, so what's the big deal? But then there's when you become blue, then white belts kind of see you.
Well, that's not.
I want to prove myself.
Yeah, I know. I would say that's more of maybe a little bit more in prideful.
Well, I think when you're just sparring with somebody and say kickboxing, okay, let's do this pattern 1 2 3 4. You do 1 2 3 4. It's almost the same thing. It's very physical, it's very aggressive, and you might even get hit by accident. But there's zero ego there because there's no measure of performance. I mean, there is a measure of performance. You can do them better or worse, but there's no you've been defeated. There's none of that, right?
Or giving up, you mean?
There's as much ego in I guess jiu-jitsu still, even if after you after you get humbled, there's still as much ego as there is playing cards or playing a video game or whatever, however much. I don't know. I try not to carry any I don't give a fuck if I lose at a game of cards or foosball or pool or something. As an artist who's art is my main path, I try to reserve all my give a fuck for art, and everything that is in art is who cares, right? If you do well, great. If not, that's not your main. So, but I don't know, for some reason when you're in there and it's and even if and I'm not saying that guys you roll against are they're not rubbing your face in it. I mean, they might, there's some guys like Dimitri who will
he kind of teases you.
He has fun with you, but it's he's a legendary master type guy, and he's
I think it might be because I was
funny. I don't mind it.
I was a white belt for so long, still am a white belt, and I was the only white belt in the class for the longest time.
Yeah, that's tough.
So I was just whatever. Yeah, I don't give a shit. Just do it. I'll try to survive, but whatever. You know what I mean?
But you did pretty well, though. I mean, it's not as if you never tapped anybody, and you
No.
There's a lot of when you left, a lot of new white belts came, and
man, that's
there was some people stuck in the daily being tapped, and just just ownage, just stuck in that loop of ownage that you kind of like start with, but which is good, just
but
good.
you start to realize like the only reason why you're like stuck in that loop is because you're not focusing on what's actually important, and what's important is just stay alive. Don't get tapped. Don't worry about tapping people. Just if the
That's
opportunity
right.
comes, okay. But ain't no way in fucking hell you're gonna be tapped. I'm gonna be tapping Dimitri. So I better just prepare for the onslaught. And if an opportunity rises, then take it. But there's no point. There's no point. Going against someone such a high level. Yeah. Also, I think also getting to the conclusion of well, I don't know if I can talk about that. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm just kind of thinking out loud right now. I was just thinking like, I wonder if me like accepting the fact that I don't like, because remember I used to do a lot of illustration work.
Yeah, you used to do. You mean like that sort of graphic style, like ponies and
just drawing, right?
Yeah.
And since I like came to the conclusion where it's like I actually don't like care for that, I was just doing it so people didn't think I was a loser, so I had something to show them. Like,
did you feel like that style of work was really like people always kind of said positive things about it? Like,
oh yeah.
That's why.
And I was always trying to like, I don't know, I was just trying to make stuff so I didn't look like a loser in front of strangers.
Well, I think you always wanted to like make art that you can get out to people, like because you've made things like stickers and and you would leave art around, like at coffee shops and stuff.
Yeah.
So now I think you're scratching that itch in more of like you think like people downloading and commenting on you and like giving you feedback on your stuff and like.
Yeah, but I think it's I don't know, because okay, here's this thing. 3D printing isn't cool. You know what I mean?
Don't think so?
No, especially 3D printing for tabletop isn't cool. You know what I mean? Isn't it like, ooh, badass, bad boy, yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But the other stuff I would do, like tigers and demons and devils and like crazy faces and stuff like that, and skeletons, like it's very punk rock and like metal and very like tattooish and like very, very cool. You know what I mean? Like badass. You know what I mean?
I see what you mean.
And it's just like I was just like keeping up a persona. I was just so tired of like pretending. I was just like, this is exhausting. I just want to I just want to make toys and games. You know what I mean? I don't care what anybody says.
Oh,
it was very freeing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If someone says like, "Oh, what do you do?" I'll just be like, I make terrain for tabletop games, and I just don't give a shit anymore because I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Anyways,
well, you could still say you'd be like, "I'm a sculptor." I would just kind of leave it at that. Like,
yeah,
talk about.
No, but I did a test print of I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, that's your wall. That's one of your wall per days. Cool.
Yeah, I did a test painting scheme on it. Didn't really turn out the way I liked it, so I'm probably going to print another one. But yeah, I did that during the week, and I did more modeling, and then I had to. What else did I do this fucking last week? Trying to think here. Just answering questions on Kickstarter, people asking questions, stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I gotta start looking for a camera because people are asking for a tutorial. So I want to give them a tutorial, and I want to make it good. I want to make it look professional. Are
you gonna go pick one up somewhere, or I guess order one?
I'm gonna order one, yeah, of course. And then I also gotta order some paint and a bunch of other stuff. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like today I was supposed to get paid today from my Kickstarter.
Oh,
and there was a mistake with the transactions. So I had to take a picture of a void check, and I had to send that to them. And
So it goes directly into your bank account.
well, I guess they need confirmation that I like everything's spelled out properly. I guess I must have when I was punching in my information, I must have like added a 0 or missed a number or something.
Gotcha.
So yeah, hopefully that gets resolved soon.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice to get paid.
Well, it's cool that they put it in and they don't like run it through PayPal or something, which would then like again like take another like percentage off of your.
Well, actually, I just found out they take what was it? What was it called again? Like a charging fee or something like that.
Yeah, there's a transaction fee or something.
Yeah, they take a transaction fee as well, and it's $700. So.
Really?
Yeah.
It amounts to 700.
Who's
this?
Well, they show the like I hang on. Ugh. They what's the word I'm looking for? They give you like the footnotes, not the footnotes. What am I?
Oh, like a summary of your.
Yeah, they give you the whole summary, and
yeah, what's that called, dude? I went on Skype with somebody, and it was like 7 p.m. and I felt like so much more like with it. I could recall things. I could think about what I was about to say after that.
Yeah.
Oh well, but you get the morning me, which is
just slow, drabby.
Yeah, a little bit late to the punch. A little bit. Gosh. All right. Okay. Let's move on. So you get charged again. It's a bit of a wasn't something you're expecting. $700 is a lot actually when you think about it. Like my truck used to break down, and if it cost me $700, I'd be like, that's quite a bit. So it sucks when those pop up. But
yeah, but it wasn't. I was going to sneeze. Excuse me. It's true. It is what it is. I can't really, complain on it because,
well, you're learning now. It's part of the. You can probably write it off too, whatever it is. It's all business expense, so it just drives down your income at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And there you go. You get to retain a little bit more tax time. Yeah. My week this week was the Patreon's going okay. I'm at 43, I think now, 43 people, and you know what? A lot of people are taking me up on the legendary tier. Actually, I have more people in my $5 tier than I do in my $250. So there's the $250. Just to recap, is the hero tier where you're only getting an STL, and then the $5 tier is kind of what I'm really designing is like the character package, the collection, where you're like, you get the character, you get the art, you get the 5e page, and you get the something else. Oh, the items. So yeah, people are really, especially once I took the time to print out everything and kind of put it on a table and like show it as like, hey, look what this actually is, like all these digital files. Then like that was a big image, and like a lot of people joined. I mean, not a lot. I mean, a lot to me is like 5 to 10 or something, And but yeah, it was just like it was just enough reaffirmation to know that like this is a good direction. So
no,
positive. It wasn't like because sometimes you get people who join and just they're there. And they don't say anything, but they're there. Maybe they're just taking the file because they happen to like it. But then there are people who join and then comment and, like kind of let you know how excited they are. Like, oh, I can print this, and like this would make a good birthday gift or something like that. So it's like, okay, then I'm going to keep steering in this direction. And it's pretty clear that the next thing I need to do, just based on feedback and what people have communicated to me, is figure out a merchant tier for what I've got going on. So
I see.
yeah, some people want to sell the prints. Some people want to be able to sell everything that I have there. So I got to figure that out, whether I want to split the, like make a legendary, or sorry, flex, Jesus Christ, make a merchant tier for just like STLs, or make one that's all the content, or like make two. So I'm thinking about that. Yeah, I was gonna talk to you about it before I decided on anything. It's hard to find like a Patreon out there who's I don't feel like I can just take what Artisan Guild is doing. They're like $10 a month for like 1,000 little models, and you pay $30 and then you can sell those models, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think 30 is my number. It seems kind of high. Like, I don't know. Like,
well, it depends. It depends. What's your back catalog, right?
Yeah. Well, a lot of those, like Artisans Guild, I don't think you get the back catalog unless you've been subscribed for like 6 months.
I see.
In fact, I've seen people are switching to Gumroad instead of like Duncan Shadows on Gumroad now, because you can.
I know he was always on Gumroad.
Oh, was he? He had a Patreon because he said that the reason he stopped focusing on, I don't know, he might still have it. I don't know if he actually already canceled it, but Gumroad will keep.
What the hell is that?
That was Sam. I don't know. She's probably mad at a cat or something.
Oh, I was like, Jesus. Okay. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Duncan Shadow still has his Patreon. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I think he has both, but he's like, I guess, like the big benefit is that if you back on Patreon for like a month and then you unsubscribe for a few months and then you subscribe again, then you have like ownership over like files from a few months ago and then files from today, and it's hard to tell. And it's like, let's say I updated a file from the past.
Mm-hmm.
And they missed it. It's like hard for somebody to know like what's the status of their files, where did we get them, like get the new versions and stuff. But Gumroad keeps a history of the items that you have like unlocked, the items that you've like purchased and that are technically yours, right? It's like there's an inventory there in your account. Whereas Patreon, there's no inventory happening. You're just subscribe and you just see what's there, and that's it. And it's kind of on, you're just communicating organically, say, hey, this thing's been updated. Hey, change that. Like, here you go. And so it is a little bit better. It's like as far as just distributing like digital files, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess because on Gumroad you can price stuff, and so I guess he probably gives them a code for Gumroad so that they can use it, and then they can like permanently have that code maybe, and then once they download it, it's theirs forever, right? And it just sits on Gumroad.
Oh, maybe he's subscribing through Patreon, but then just distributing through Gumroad. But I wonder if
maybe
you have to pay to have a Gumroad account.
Well, you got to pay for like a premium one, or like a premium version. So Gumroad's free, but once you start selling, and then also if you want to upload larger files or something like that, you gotta pay. You gotta pay them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, well, it is what it is. I wonder if like 3D artists will ever get, like, if this takes off, like as just an industry, if people will get to the point where like, people will start paying them for the right to use their content, because we're like hairdressers, where you rent the chair, and then you pay a part of your cut to like the business that owns the barbershop. It's like, that's basically how it works for us in all these like online stores and stuff. It's like you pay for your your
Pretty
spot
much.
at the table, and then and then you pay a cut. So I don't know. I don't know. I just never. I was thinking. I feel like I was thinking more about Kickstarters up until this point, and like not really getting deep into Patreons and how it works and all that. And min-maxing, if I pay this per month to this website, and let's say I don't even have any sales. Like there's nobody. There's like 40 people who want to download my stuff right now, and so it seems like I'm probably just like it's pretty trivial at the moment. So
I don't think it's trivial at all. Like thinking about like your timeline, you know what I mean? It's I think it's pretty good. Because there's some Patreons I see on Thingiverse. I still kick around there. And they've been up for a while and they have 0. You know what I mean? And the work's not bad. Like the work's not like, but there's a certain way to do it, right? There's like
over time, I think the competition gets stepped up to break in.
And you can't just, sorry to cut you off. The book I always quote or talk about, marketing is storytelling. So everybody can, there's a bunch of fucking modelers out there, you know what I mean? There's a bunch of artists. Yeah. A lot of them have very similar skills and they're all capable of their own thing or putting their own flair and style and stuff like that, right? On it. But what's the thing that's going to get people to remember you, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, what's the little thing where it's like, but this thing has this thing and I remember it and I'm going to go with that thing because I remember it. Like a can opener. There's a lot of different can openers you can get out there. They all work the same. They all open the things up.
Yeah.
Somebody like made a can opener and they're like, wait, I'm going to put this extra big handle on it so it's really easy to open. And then there's like, and then they write a story around that and cut a promo. It's like super easy fucking thing to open, can opener.
Right. Yeah, the first can opener that came out was like probably really annoying to use and was like hurt your hands to hold and just barely opened a can. And that was good enough at the time. But now it's like, if you're going to make a new can opener, holy shit, it better open a can so fast and so easily. Like there's so many out there to compete with. Like,
but this is the thing though. That's not enough, right? Because then the person's like, right, I already have a can opener.
It's like, that's a better can opener. Great.
I already have one. It's like, and it costs. I'll just like sort by price. I'll just get the cheapest one. It's a can opener, right? Yeah. But if you tell the story, no, this is why you want this can opener with the better grip, with the better handle or whatever. You know what I mean? And it's like, and then the person that sees the story, they tell themselves the story, and then they're like, that's why I want it, because it has a better grip and it has an easier handle and it's easier to open and it's better, blah, 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 blah. They tell themselves the story. They tell themselves the lie of the can opener to justify why they're getting this can opener. And that's what you do for all purchases in life when you think about it, right? Because if not, you would just sort by price. You would just be like, well, I'm just going to go to Amazon and I need a loofah. And you go, cheapest loofah. Okay, cheapest loofah. Yeah, or you're like, hey, look, a loofah on a stick. What's the story behind this? And then you're like, oh, okay.
Ours is more like DVDs. You're not just be like, I need a DVD. I need a movie. I'm going to rent this one from Blockbuster. I'm going to, I don't know. It's like, it doesn't apply at all anymore.
No. But you know what I'm trying to say, right? And then, but once you have that story.
Art is all of that. There's like,
exactly.
It's even less of just like a utility kind of purchase there. It's just like, there's even more story involved. But, there is like some art is so like my favorite artists, my my favorite artists aren't like their art isn't from a movie or a game or anything. It's just like I just found it one day and thought, oh, this is like some of the greatest art I've ever seen and what it's trying to do here.
Well, who is
You
it?
know what
Tell
I mean?
us.
Like Brad Rigney and Frank Frazetta, like they've
Okay.
worked on
yeah.
worked on productions for sure and
Yeah, well, Frank
games
Frazetta,
and whatever.
all his pieces tell stories. They're just loaded with story.
They are, yeah, but they're not like it's like, oh, that's his piece from Ninja Turtles and that's his He-Man.
Yeah. I know
It's
what you
like,
mean. Yeah.
I don't know, like there's a lot of communication happening in those images, which is great, but I'm not tied to it externally beyond that piece. Like there's nothing really beyond it that's making me like, I don't know, feel what that like exposed me to it. It was like, oh, I don't know. Aside from that, they're just like the others in the collection.
Yeah.
That the other artwork he's made, it'd be like cool to have like all of them on the wall, So anyway, but yeah, so there we are. That's our plight, I guess.
Those pictures of Frank Frazetta. I'm more familiar with Frank Frazetta than the last person you named.
Brad Rigney is like more modern, I guess.
Okay.
In that he's not dead.
He's not dead.
He's an artist for Magic, but I don't know if he made a ton of Magic cards. He probably did make a few. He did more of like the promotional Magic the Gathering imagery. Like if
a lot of promotional Magic the Gathering, just the cards. So
he like if you go to a Magic store and or not that there are Magic stores, but a board game store or something, and you see a big cutout of like a character from Magic cards, it's probably one of Brad Rigney's characters.
Yeah, like, but that's still probably a Magic card though. That's what they do usually. Yeah,
I know, I hear you, but I don't know. If you go to the website, for example,
all right,
like if I guarantee you, like he'll be in the banner, like you know what I mean? Like they don't just recrop a Magic card all the time, and just it's like I don't know. There's the asset art, and then there's like, how Blizzard has like cinematics, and so they put extra love into that art, even though it's not part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
He's like one of those kind of guys for them.
Okay,
that's like
all right. Yeah, but the only reason you probably like that art is because it's not just because it's good art.
I don't even play Magic. I don't like Magic.
I know. You're telling yourself the story from those pictures. You know what I mean? You know that one Conan the Barbarian Frank Frazetta picture where he's in like a pile. He's on top of a pile of men, and he's like just hacking at everybody. And he's just like, he has a shield and an axe, and he has this funny hat on, and he's just murdering people. You could describe that picture, right, to me, right, and the way you kind of you can break it down, right, and that's unique to you because you told yourself that story of that certain picture or pictures of Frank Frazetta, right? There's a certain thing where people are like, oh, I like this because of da, and that's still a story, right? You're telling yourself why this thing is hanged up in your house or why it's your background picture on your phone. And yeah, it's pretty much always about the story, I find.
But even like saying, like telling a story, I find, because when you like, for example, when we went to art school, that's all you would hear is like tell a story, and it becomes said like so often that I feel like it loses its value.
You're right.
Like not like telling a story, like what does that even mean? And it doesn't mean you need to like have Robin Hood.
It's a pitch. It's essentially a pitch. You're just trying to give somebody a pitch.
I think it's more just like your art needs to communicate something. And usually, even if it's not intended, it always communicates something. Sometimes it's like if an artist isn't putting a lot of work into it, it communicates something that's like just stupid, right? But it's still communicating something. like I drew when I was early on. I drew this like warrior guy, and he's like dressed like a gladiator, and so he's not wearing much. And he's but then I was like, oh, I'll put him on like this. I was like, what kind of background do I want? And then I like picked this like cold, steamy street kind of, and then there's like a castle in the background. I'm like, well, so what is? And then I look back now, it's like the the story. Like what's being communicated is there's a guy standing in the middle of the road and like wearing almost nothing, and it's fucking looks cold as heck out, and he's like ready to just throw down. And so it's like, I don't know. It's just a weird story. It's not like a story that anyone would connect with or find.
No.
Like,
but here's the thing though. When you said that, I just instantly thought of old video game cover art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like really epic kind of like Castlevania stuff.
You can, so Castlevania though is a little bit different. Like there's like they'll do like kind of collages that are like you'll have a dude.
Let me finish though. What I was trying to get to is there's I've probably wrestled with this myself. There's a certain point, not point. What's the word I'm looking for? I guess there's kind of like this thing you're wrestling with when you're an artist, where it's like I want to make cool things. But you could just make cool things, right? And then you just like, well, that's what people make, right? Cool things, because other people are making cool things, right? But you don't understand that there's a lot more kind of nuance behind the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm not just putting this person in this pose because it's cool. I'm putting this person in this pose because I'm trying to communicate this scenario or this feeling or whatever. And it's important to try to think about those things.
Making it cool isn't the goal. The goal is like
no, but that's the goal.
You want to say, making sure the image says what you want to say. It's just something you do along the way.
No, I'm just saying like that's how we started out, though. You know what I mean? Well, for me, anyways.
I think you
just wanted to make cool things. You just wanted to draw things.
That is the goal, right? Like when you're in school or whatever, or you're just starting, you're aspiring, you're like, I want to make the coolest stuff.
Yeah.
And then you look at all this other cool stuff, and that is like your personal goal. But it's like maybe you will make some cool stuff too that looks cool. And sometimes that's enough. But I mean,
it's well, that's the thing though. I think when you're with that attitude where you're just trying to make the most badass looking stuff when it comes to like 3D modeling, where you're like, oh, I'm going to make this hyper realistic render of a telephone or like a machine gun or whatever. You know what I mean? There's already kind of like a bar and it's set, and it does get better through time, right? But there's kind of like an initial kind of like, you have to hit this, you have to touch or hit this mark, or everybody can clearly look at it and be like, that looks like dog shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you try to, tell a story or give some character to something, then people are like, oh, what's this? This is cool. What's this thing over here? Blah, blah, blah. And they start making their own kind of like justification of what they're looking at. And then they become more kind of attached to it. Like on my ArtStation, when I used to do, and I was trying to do 3D modeling for games, I have that, I made this grenade launcher, right? It was a cartoony, stylized grenade launcher, but I like threw paint on it, like splashes of paint, and like little writings, like bonsai or like little skeleton man, and like other little doohickeys around. Like it was on, there's some character to it, and that's my best piece. That if a bunch of people have commented on it, people have, it's like over 200 likes on it. You know what I mean? Like, and then all my other models, people are like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, and it's understandable because there's so much story in this gun. It's just a gun, but I like loaded it up with some character, tried to make it quirky, tried to like make something a little bit more than just like a really nice render of a cartoon gun. Like I tried to like put some, I don't know, a little bit extra. The extra was the story and the character behind it, I guess.
Yeah.
I was still trying to make it look cool, but I was also trying to like make it interesting, I guess.
I think like when you think about a cool gun, like what makes a gun cool? Okay, it's got a big barrel, like maybe there's some ammo exposed, like that kind of thing. But I think what you did beyond that is like, what are other cool things that I can use that'll help communicate cool? Like ghetto blasters are pretty cool, and they got stickers and graffiti all over them. So then you mix the two, and you're like, it's double cool. It's a cool because it's a gun, and it's cool because it's kind of this like ghetto blasters thing that I used to think was cool when I was a kid. And so now you're like finding other ways to make it cool, right?
Yeah.
And that are like still tropes in your head, like graffiti is a cool thing. You know, guns are a cool thing. Like what else is cool? Pizza is cool. Maybe, I don't know if you want to try and shoot one pizza in there, but maybe you can save that for a later time, like Ninja Turtles did. And like, they're like, hey, what other cool shit can we just put in here? And
Pizza's
like,
cool.
like that character who I wanted to look badass. It's like, what's badass? Okay, spikes are badass, right? And it's like, so I put spikes on the guy, of course. And maybe you can do that one time, but it's probably way cooler if you find like more creative ways to put spikes. Like maybe you just take your character who you want to look badass and put him like in one of those Gothic churches where the architecture's got spikes everywhere. And then all of a sudden your design doesn't need the spikes, and you've got some like something to do with your background that makes sense. That's like adding these cool spikes that helps you tell the cool story. Like, it's a stupid story. It's just what is cool, but it's enough, right? You don't need. I mean, it's just one image. How much can you really say? Like a few words, just like one emotion is plenty, right? So I think that's why your gun was really successful. And I don't know. That's like something to think about now. Is like, okay, what are the tropes that make like something cool and heavy metal all the time? Which I love them for. It's like, hey, guns are cool, naked babes are cool, spikes are cool, horns are cool, and then they'll just literally
monsters,
dragons, and you'll have all that in one image. Like somebody will find a way to have that all there, right?
Yeah.
But it's all literally there. It's not like the, I don't know, like maybe the it's hard to think of this stuff. You have to sit down and think of it. But maybe I don't know. One of those things that you think is cool is like kind of hidden in there, where it's like, I don't know. You can unpack cool things like rock shapes. Like if you can have a rock that's kind of like maybe looks like a dragon wing, I don't know, and then put that in there, and it just kind of like looks like it, but it isn't actually it. But it's enough to make you think of that thing that is cool, and then it's like, oh, that's like more subtly cool, and you might not even notice it, but it's like adding to the cool narrative without having to fucking put a big dragon in next onto your babe who's like riding this robot with spikes coming out of it. This machine gun robot.
Okay.
But I love heavy metal too. What's great is like
magazine. We're talking about the heavy metal magazine.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they don't. Do they even make that magazine anymore? I
think so. I don't know if you can. I'm pretty sure like I still get emails from it.
Crazy.
Of it. Yeah, I used to not really. I think I subscribed maybe once to it. But I don't know. Sometimes it's nice to have art that's not like, I used to buy a lot of like, the video game like CG art and Imagine Effects and those kinds of art magazines, which are like instructional like tutorials and stuff. And it's like, I don't know.
They're very industry based.
Yeah.
Like they're very geared towards the industry of video games or film or VFX.
Yeah. It's nice to step outside of that and find cool things that aren't exactly what everybody else is looking at, who's like doing the same shit as you.
For sure, my dude.
Excuse me. So yeah. So yeah. Oh, I was gonna my takeaway from today, like as I was saying before, is I want to like have with your help, I want to figure out the price of a legendary tier, or sorry, a merchant tier. Gosh,
merchant tier.
Did it again.
I don't fucking know, dude. I have no idea if it comes to something like that, because it's so different, right? Because you're not just offering STLs, you're offering these digital. You know what? Just to make it simple, I would say make it all in one kind of thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Just be
Yeah.
like, hey, this is what it is. Take it
Yeah,
or
that's
leave it.
right. This is
You know
what
what I
I
mean?
do. This is what you get.
Yeah.
I really, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I don't want to create more tiers than I have to ever.
Yeah.
That was such a pain in the ass. Like,
Just have one tier, and it'll be a numbered tier, right? Because you don't want to have unlimited buyers, because you have to manage your sellers, right? Like right now, I have a spreadsheet of all the people that backed my merchant tiers.
yeah,
And I put their name down, I put their email down, and I put their information where they sell their stuff.
their information. Okay. Like, you know where where they're going, and like they have web stores or something?
Yeah, they're like Etsy, web stores, eBay, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I only heard back from 2 of them out of the 7, which is fine, I guess. I'll message them probably directly through email instead of the Kickstarter messenger.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll manage those things, and then I can shoot them emails saying like, "Oh, your license is starting now." And
That's right. Oh yeah, because you got to keep
also,
track of when they expire, right? Like,
exactly. Yeah. And then I'll a month before they expire, I'll probably send an email to them saying like, "Hey, in a month your license will expire.
yeah.
Will you like to join my Patreon to get the monthly prescription?" What was I going to say?
Okay.
Oh yeah, I extended all the tiers for the buyer tiers. I extended their license a month, an extra month, because since of the whole Corona breakout thingy.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so I thought that'd be nice because, there's not a lot of people are going to be buying 3D prints of for their tabletop games if they can't play it with their friends,
They
right?
can't play the tabletop games. I feel like people are still hobbying though, like they're
They are.
home.
They are.
Because a lot of people, like we were saying before, like 3D printing and collecting files is a lot like Steam, where it's even like I'm not subscribed to any Patreons and stuff, but I know I've got models that like I've downloaded in the past that I've just never printed, but I thought were cool, and I thought I'd like to print this. But like I've got a backlog, and if I have a backlog, that means people who buy way more shit than I do, which is a lot of people I think who own 3D printers. Yeah. They'll have a huge backlog too, and I think people are using this time to get through their backlog. And when you're in that headspace, and then you see a cool like, sci-fi generator thing, you think, man, I can print that too.
Also, some people are probably like, oh, I'll just order some terrain, and then by the time when I get it, I can paint it or whatever, or get it ready for the table.
That's what I would be doing. I'd be like getting all my ducks in a row so that when this is done, I can game solidly for, I don't know, who knows.
I think one more month, man. I think they've been they were talking. People smarter than me saying maybe probably one more month, and stuff should start kind of rolling back in.
Okay.
Wow. Did you hear that?
There's an elephant in the other room.
Yeah.
The elephant in the other room.
Yeah.
Is Sam blowing her nose.
Blowing her nose, yelling at cats. Hey!
Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah, we're very comfortable now in our relationship. We've hit that point
good.
where we yell at cats and blow our nose.
You guys fart in front of each other?
Oh, don't ask that. You don't want to know the answer.
What was I going to say? So what are you doing for this week besides working at EA?
Yeah, I got to put some miles in on the May release. I got to pimp April, which just dropped. Like I haven't promoted it yet because I just released it yesterday. So I got to pimp that out a little bit. I've got my next, my next page, my summary, I guess, my collection. You want to see it? Have you seen it?
Sure. Let's bring it up.
Let's bring it up. Okay. I think I'm getting better at these. But I've decided that they're all going to kind of look like this too. Going like, I like the red model on the white background. I'm just going to stick with that.
Yeah, it works.
So I'm going to make this sheet every time there's a release. I might go back to the welcome package guy and actually package him up like this, because people respond well to it. But the one thing is that sometimes I've shared this, and like on Reddit, like some groups have really strict posting rules, and they're like, this looks too much like an advertisement, because it is an advertisement.
Well, then just take stills of the STLs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or like stills of the cards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just break it down simple.
Yeah, this is too. If I were to pay for an ad, like I'd probably use this image.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's good.
I'm starting to feel like an idiot, I guess, but like I'm realizing that certain images are for certain types of groups. You can still promote, but I don't know. It's not. There's like a mood, or like you got to kind of, I guess, get a sense for the room you're in at the moment before you speak. And so I'm trying to figure that out. I started following Nintendo on Instagram, and they're so good at like advertising without advertising, like saying like get in and share this thing, and like it's not even less demanding than that. It's just like makes everything they do sound fun and cool, instead of
I hope so.
Like buy this or act now, or like I think their social media team has like a rule that's like a list of sales words, and say never use these, like limited time, act now, buy this, or try. I don't know. I mean, all that shit you've heard of before. Like if you write it down and it comes across at all like an infomercial, like any text that like, or any like vibe, you'll never see it like on a Nintendo page. Yeah. And I'm going to try to play by those same rules too. I don't know if those are the exact rules, but I'm going to like pretend that they are, and I'm going to try to just see how creative I can get with like making the things just sound fun, I guess, instead of like, oh, hey, this guy, he's only available for another week. So it's like a threat. It's like, I don't know.
It does work, though. It does work.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, maybe advertising isn't feeling good all the time and being Mr. Rogers, but sometimes you got to be like that bald guy from the Dragon's Den and cut throats a little. I don't know, dude. I don't know what I'm doing.
Bald guy from Dragon's Den. Or Shark Tank. He's on Shark Tank as well. I don't think anymore, though.
Yeah, he probably doesn't need it anymore. He got his exposure, and he's good. How about you? What are you up to this week?
Shave my head, I think. I'll shave my head.
Yeah.
I've been working on the models for the 30 days of tiles, and like I said, I've been testing them out.
That's cool, man.
Just trying to get some color down, see how I want to promote it. Trying to figure out this. It's weird because I have this feeling. It's just like I feel very kind of like stagnant, if that's the right word. I don't know, but just regards of like I haven't been paid yet from Kickstarter, and then also my models haven't been distributed out yet and stuff like that. And it's just like I have this feeling where it's like I don't want to do anything else until I get paid, and until I know all my backers get their models. You know what I mean? There's like this feeling of kind of like something's not done, but I can't really do anything about it, right? Because
it's out of your control.
It's not in my control, where it's like Kickstarter's doing the best they can to deliver, me the funds, and I'm working with them, and then still have to wait hear back from my mini factory. So hopefully I hear back from this week. I'm sure I will, because I was in contact with them last week.
Yeah. Just ping them again. It's always fair to like just remind somebody or whatever.
Yeah. Because I wanted to get the page up and running this Friday, and I asked them that last week, and then he just said, or she, no, he. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's the person that contacted you.
Alistair?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the person's name. Actually, I'm really curious now.
Okay.
I want to check. They said he has to get he has to like talk with a team or something like that.
Okay.
And then they would have to talk about if that's, I guess, feasible or something rather.
Well.
So, yeah. Yeah, Alistair. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I haven't talked to him in person yet or anything, or like not in person, but like on Skype or anything yet. But
yeah,
I'd like to, I don't know, see if it makes sense right now to go that route. It's just like I don't know. It's another avenue for awareness and all that. So
yeah. So I've just been kind of trekking away and doing my best to get all these models done for this 30 Days of Tile event.
That's great, man. I think that's a good use of time right now. Just like do a little bit of modeling again, and
most definitely
get a backlog for your little campaign.
But I'm still like thinking about my next like push here, like my next Kickstarter, my next project, like big one.
Yeah.
Still haven't really decided. I have an idea, like it is going to be fantasy based. I have an idea, but I'm not. I don't know. I have a couple. I have like two ideas that I've been kind of toiling with, and still haven't got to a conclusion. But we'll see. We'll see how good this event does, and then maybe from there I can pull something to a tighter conclusion, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because I'm having this feeling that I've had before when I first started working at EA, and it's an empty feeling of like what's next. Because like I tried for so long and so hard to like get a job in the industry for 3D modeling, for games, right? Being a 3D artist, and then I got it, and I was like, "Oh, what now?" You know what I mean? There's like this empty feeling, but that's okay. I just need to like, figure out and put something in place there, right? And I can. It's weird though, because like now I have. Before it was like, oh, what now? How do I navigate through this road that I chose that I'm on now? And there's kind of one path, really, sort of. There's like it could branch off or whatever, but usually it felt like people were telling you how things are going to be since you chose this one career path. You know what I mean? Where it's like, first you're a junior, and then you become a lead, and then you become a producer, and then you do this, or you do this, or you know what I mean? There's like kind of like already a hierarchy, but there isn't in this field that I've taken, where it's kind of like, no, Antoine, you just got to do the thing now. You just got to do the song and dance. That's it. So I know what I need to do, but I have that sense of emptiness because I guess I worked on this project for so long and now it's like done and gone.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Well, I don't. Well, like you wouldn't want to forget about this project. Like I think what you want to, like what you're doing next should be like built upon your last project. And I don't mean like so literally, like you're taking assets and like adding to them or anything.
Yeah.
But it's like what your last project was like a collection of models and your own presentation, like your own like you design this inventory, right? And you've got a product and it was successful. And you can look back at that and you can say like, what's everything I would change and improve about this?
Yeah, I already
and that's
know.
not always. It's not always like adding stuff. Sometimes it's like subtracting, sometimes changing.
Yeah, for sure.
And then say, instead of going back and fixing it, say, I'm doing the next one as that, but this time it's fantasy. Or it's like, then it's like, you've got all these things that are like, I know I want to do that. Like, you're like very firm, like decisions that are like, are the right decisions because it's like, this was already a success. So if I do it again, plus my learnings, plus what I know is better, the only gaps you have to fill in is like, what is the flavor? Like, what is like, what are the what is the aesthetic? Like that sort of thing. And then as you have less to solve because you have like, when you start a puzzle and it's like, oh, you do the border because it's really easy. So I'll put the border in first. I don't even have to think about it. I just grab the flat edges and it's in there. And now I'm just solving for the weird middle parts, and it's like, you've got a pretty solid like structure of like how the whole process goes down already because you've done it once and it was a success. So like what are the little holes you have to fill and then
for sure.
make it again. And it's like, and if you departed too far from that before, then it's like you're reinventing the wheel a little bit, which would not be good too. Like I think, I don't know.
No, like, I hear you. I hear you. I understand what you're trying to throw down.
Okay.
I just have to get over that little hump and get over that feeling of like, I don't know. I think it might have to do with the fact where the project still doesn't feel finished. It isn't and isn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I just got.
Yeah. How long does it take you to make these tile a days? Like how much effort are you spending on it out of your week as a percentage?
It depends on the tile. Right?
Like, I'm just wondering if it could be like a Patreon, like if it could grow into.
Oh yeah, that's an idea I've had. Where by the way, I got my license for OpenLock. By the way, so I have an official license.
Sweet.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting Patreon where it's like I just release, some stuff and some tiles. You know what I mean? And it's just like an ongoing project of tiles.
At the end of this tile a month, maybe all these tiles could go into your welcome package, and then people have a banging welcome package.
Well, I was just gonna put them all on my mini factory.
Oh yeah, that's true. I guess like maybe like, do you want to have a Patreon or do you not, or do you want to just? You should do
Patreon. I'm gonna have a Patreon.
Okay, so like I don't know. I don't really know what you got going on, but I feel like those would maybe fit into a Patreon because it's like something that can be kind of pieced out over time. That's
for sure.
Because like if you're doing Kickstarter plus Patreon, maybe you have the time to do it, but that's like a time management problem to solve, like because people expect things on the regular at Patreon, but at the same time,
it would have to be a very different project. I would feel like to like, I don't know, to like keep the momentum of working on a Kickstarter and running a Patreon. It would have to be two very different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't
know. Excuse me. I was gonna say, I remember you were talking a little while ago. We were talking about your stepdad, because he runs a business, right?
Oh yeah.
And you were saying that he just has he doesn't have a business account. He just just has a
Oh.
credit card where he just
Yeah. He's got a company credit card that he makes all of his company charges on, and then he uses his credit card statement. Hopefully, I'm not broadcasting too much over the air, but I think it's pretty common practice. Just that statement then becomes like this printout of like all your company's expenses, right? And it's really easy to have it all in one spot.
That means he has a business account, though. You know what I mean?
I guess so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so I need to get a business account.
Yeah,
I need a business account. Okay.
I haven't done it myself. I only know the high level theory of it, of like what the plan is there. But
yeah, I need to get a business account. That's what I need to do.
Well, maybe you do. Maybe you do, but maybe you don't. Is what I'm saying.
I'm pretty sure I do.
Yeah, I like it because one could have 2 or 3 credit cards. It's like it's like your scene. I got my scene card that's like I collect movie points, and so when it makes sense, like if I'm going to the movies, I'll use that one.
Mm-hmm.
You could do the same thing where you just have another card, and you don't like it doesn't necessarily have to be a business card. It's just this is my you got your Visa and your MasterCard. If I'm buying bread, I put on my Visa. If I have my MasterCard, or if I want buying like filament or some other toy stuff, put it on the other one. Whatever, I forget the first one I said. And if all you need to do is organize, then it doesn't matter what you call it, right? If all you need to do is like just keep track. But I don't know. I don't know anything.
Yeah, no, you're a dummy dumb like me. I should just get a business account and just do it because it's professional and all my information's there and all my transactions are there, and you know what I mean? And then at the end of the day,
but like at the same time, put some thought into it, because business accounts may be designed for people who have employees. Like you may be paying for like the ability to share your account with people with limited access. It's like a pain in the ass thing to do, but you don't need to pay for that service because it's just
true. That's true. That's a good point.
So, like,
I'll look into it. Okay. Chill out. I'll look into it.
Okay. I'm settled. It's time, man. We've been at it for a while. I think it's just been a while since we caught up, and even though we're kind of low energy this morning, sleepy.
I didn't even get to do my exercise. I gotta do my exercise. You know what? Today, you know what? I'm not gonna do any work today.
Okay. Taking a day off?
I'm gonna take a day off today.
When's the last time you took a day off?
Last Monday.
3 days ago? No, yesterday?
No. Last week Monday.
3 days ago. I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore, because it's like
it's the 14th today.
Every day is my house. Okay. All right, Antoine, where can I find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Forbidden Prince. You can find me on Twitter at Forbidden Prince. You can find me on Thingiverse if you want to download some models for your home 3D printer at Forbidden Prince. Or you can check out my old work on my art station, which is Antoine Marchildon, which is right there. And yeah.
Cool.
And hopefully I hear back from Kickstarter and my mini factory soon, because I would like to know what's up with all that information, because it's important. It's important. All right then. Alex, where can we find you?
Patreon.com/ or is it a backslash? I think it's pretty straightforward. I think I had the same struggle last week, but it's at Tiger Skull RPG, all one word. Yeah. And same thing, Facebook as well. Facebook.com/ one of those directions. Tiger Skull RPG. There's other places too, but if you want to just keep clicking, just go into the comments and start reading those. But there we go. That's it. That's where I am. Go to Instagram. Sam would like that. Sam's managing my Instagram account now, and she's really excited when people follow me. So
nice.
It's great. She knows what she's doing. I don't. She's excited about it. I'm like, it seems like another Twitter or another thing for me. And fuck, man, getting Instagram followers is like not doesn't come natural to me. That game, whatever the game is,
yeah.
The algorithm, is my brain's not plugged into it. So since she's taken over, it's been good. Things have been, I don't know, doing better. So I'm gonna have to start paying her someday in things that aren't like, you know, hugs and pats on the head and stuff. All right, that's it. I'm gonna let you go. You're already checked out. I can tell.
Yeah, I am. You wouldn't shut up. Yeah, dude. Take care. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next week.
Sure. Good day. Enjoy
Yeah,
your day
bye-bye.
off.
Bye bye.